We are inspired in so many different ways in the arts, and the written word is one that we can relate to every single day. The next lady, the lovely lady of Las Vegas I'm going to introduce you to, is someone that everyone in this room knows, but they never have seen. And when I asked her to please honor us with being a lovely lady of Las Vegas, she said, "Why me? I don't do anything to be honored." Well, I think you'll all disagree with her statement. Will you please join me in welcoming the most wonderful person at the Review Journal, our very own Miss Jan Hogan.
Okay, I have a really low voice, so can everybody hear me? Good, okay. I wanted to tell you about writing for the View part of the Review Journal, which is my forte. I love covering Summerlin, I love covering Summerlin South, and there are so many people out there that I've met through my job in the last 12 years that it's almost like, you silly people, you're paying me to do this job. You don't know I would do it because I love it. I get to cover a lot of varied topics, so for me it's a constant education. I'm always learning something, and I meet a lot of interesting people, and some of them that I'd like to tell you about today, they're not people that you're going to read about, they're not people who are going to make the headline news or anything, but they're just kind of cool people. So one of them was a gentleman who started a business, and he decided he was going to have a pizza business, but it was going to be one of those rolling kind of trucks. But he's not going to pull behind a trailer. He decided to find an old fire truck, like from 1949, and he converted it into a pizza oven and a place to sell his pizza. So I went to his house, and I'm looking at this really old fire truck. And I'm like, asking, "Where did you find this?" And he found it up in Washington State and stuff like that. And he goes, "I had to drive it back to Vegas, but I could only go 55. So he went 55 in this truck, but he said everybody was waving at him like, "What a cool truck you have." Now they say, "What a cool pizza truck you have," because that's what he does. And as I'm leaving his house, I'm stepping out of his driveway, and I go, "Oh, and you're renovating a boat too," because he's got this speedboat. He goes, "No, that's a car." And I go, "No, that's a boat." It was a car. I don't know how this guy does it, but he can make a pizza truck, he can make a pizza, and he can make a car that looks like a boat. Some of you might remember a gentleman named Mr. Happy, and he hangs out on corners in Summerlin, and nobody knows why he's out there. I'm not sure he knows either. But he's out there waving to people and making them say hi, making them wave back. He just wants to be known as Mr. Happy, and he just wants to spread the love. So we've done a story of Mr. Happy. Yeah, he's retiring. So, but then there are other ladies. There's like a lady who did art classes at Shade Tree, and she was really special because this was her life. She was disabled. And she's doing this, and I just noticed, I saw this little like poodle off to the side, and I said, "Your dog?" And she goes, "No, he's a service dog because I'm disabled." And I kept watching her, and I was like, she is. But when she's with these kids at Shade Tree, who don't know where they're going to end up living, she wasn't disabled, not anymore. So it's kind of special. I've covered a trauma doctor, obviously saving lives every day. I've covered a nonprofit place that takes carpenters and people who know how to do fantastic things with homes, and they re-outfit homes for people in wheelchairs so that they can actually roll down the whole length of their hallway, or they can get into their bedroom without having to slide out of their chair. And some of the things that they do is they make roll-in showers, which I think is really cool. And I just like to have one of those showers in my home, even though I'm not handicapped, because it's kind of cool. But anyway, I want to tell you about one of the stories that I covered recently was the Botero family. You probably read about them. Their son was outside Chenango Creek and was killed. And we still don't know why. And, you know, a 22-year-old kid who had everything going for him. That was kind of a hard story to cover. When I'm at a place like that, I kind of feel the emotions of people. So just kind of want to let you know that I'm going to be covering them again. And we'll see what happens, and we'll kind of maybe figure out why. My job also lets me have a front row seat to really cool events and sometimes really cool things. Like I've gone into an operating room and watched a procedure like 5 feet away, you know, just being done. And I think that is so cool. Because I mean, what you can do these days is really, I don't know, technology and all that. I just get a kick out of it. I've gotten to go up in a helicopter for Channel 3's newscasters. So what is it like to be the traffic guy? So I got to watch the traffic guy that day, and I got to zip around above Las Vegas. I've been part of the Guinness Book of World Records, biggest hug. Okay, I went there to cover it, and then they said, Jan, you got to join us because we need you. So I was one more person to add to the number. I have ridden with Metro's gang unit. And before you can ride with the gang unit, you have to sign a lot of papers. And I was like, I can't read all this fine print. And they said, you're just basically signing your life away. So I said, okay, that's what we'll do. But it was really interesting because I really thought I'd be ducking bullets and everything like that, but I wasn't. A lot of it was done in Naked City. And there were some, I don't know, there were some kids down there that you get to talk to, and they're coming from a whole different place that you have no idea what their lives must be like, but you kind of get a sense of them, and they could be really cool kids if they just had a chance, you know? So that was kind of cool. I kind of enjoyed that. And it led to a 6-part series, and I went into the coroner's office, and I got to see dead bodies and things like that. And that's where these kids are going to wind up if they don't figure it out. So there was one assignment that I didn't take, and that was going skydiving. And that was because my husband said, Jan, we have 2 kids. I don't want to raise them alone, okay? So I didn't do that. Oh, yes. A really cool one that I had to go to this guy's house. He had 9 wolves. And I love animals, okay? And I think it is so cool. Wolves in the wild. I would love to come across a wolf in the wild. But here was a wolf, 9 of them, and this huge, as big as this room. That was their run. And I asked the guy, can I go inside? And he kind of goes, okay, they're not used to strangers. But they didn't react too bad when you were standing at the fence. So, okay, that's a good sign. So he let me in. He said, sit on this tree stump. So I sat on the tree stump, and all the wolves are like circling me. I'm like, is this good? And I'm like, looking at it. He said, don't move it fast. He says, okay, I'm doing this okay? He goes, yeah. He says, one's coming up behind you. I go, okay. He goes, it's the alpha male. I go, okay. So I feel something like muzzling me, and then all of a sudden he's looking at my face. And I turn around and he just licks me all over. And the guy says, he smells your shampoo and your perfume and stuff. So I go, okay. And then he goes, oh, he's circling back around you. He goes, don't move. I said, okay. And I'm like this, because all the other wolves are like watching, like, is this a cool lady or what? So all of a sudden he goes, no, bad dog. I was getting a little too friendly. So I'm like, okay, that's the end of my term here. So I left, but I have to tell you, it was so cool. And speaking about loving animals, I really have a place in my heart for the arts. And I have a place for the animals. I've done Story and Ninja, right? Okay, and I'm going to do one in Shelley. I'm doing one in Joan soon, so I'm looking forward to those. One of the things about the arts that I did, and it's not here in Vegas, but it has a Vegas connection. There is a lady affiliated with another church, And she started a nonprofit, Hearts to Heart. And what she does is she helps out young girls in Uganda. And over there, these girls are orphans. And their only recourse to making a living and subsiding is to turn to prostitution. So she's gone over there, and she said, no, there's another way. And she started this home for these young women. And now they do things like they learn crafts. They learn cooking so that they can be chefs. They learn housekeeping duties so they can work as domestics. And one of the things that they do to raise them is they sell jewelry. And what's really cool about this necklace is that it's made out of paper. And not just any paper, it's made out of newspaper. So I was like, no way. I was looking at it, seriously. They take little strips of paper, newspaper, and they roll them up into these beads. And if you look at it real close, you can see the printing. Yeah. And then they change the color and everything. And it's really cool because this necklace, it fits so well around your neck. It lays perfectly. I mean, I've paid for pieces, you know, $100 for a piece. It won't lay perfectly like this. And I go, that is so cool. So I kind of like spread the word about that a little bit so that if you come across Heart to Heart, you will know what's happening over there. I think that's kind of cool. And most recently, and you're going to be reading about this on Tuesday, there is a group in town that helps animals. It's called Foreclosed Upon Pets. It's FUPI, but they call it Fuppy, like a little puppy. So they were recently contacted by a group in Canada saying that we adopt out animals, but we need little dogs, little 10-pound dogs. Do you have any? So we've got animals here that need homes. And not enough people step forward to give them forever homes. So these dogs just flew up to British Columbia, where they were taken into these different, it's not like PetSmart for them up there, it's called Petcetera. But they've taken them to their little places, and now they're up for adoption, and basically they have a list of people who want small dogs. I guess the sterilization program up in Canada is working real well, because there aren't enough small dogs. So we're shipping dogs up to Canada, and that's, I don't know, one of the cool stories that I get to cover. So, unless you guys have questions, I'll be finished.
We can be inspired in so many ways, can't we, through art? And the art is so beautiful. I encourage you to come and take a look at it when you have an opportunity. I will also share information with you about our wonderful Jan Hogan. Not only does she write fabulous articles for the Review Journal, but I happen to know that she is an extraordinary author as well, because I get the honor of proofing her books, and wow, does she. So I will let you all know when they're out and ready for when they have been published, because we'll have a release party, which will be great.